These lands have witnessed many things, but this is different. This machine lying beneath the rust is not just any motorcycle. This is the 1980 BMW R80GS, one of the world's first adventure motorcycles. The machine that won the Paris-Dakar 4 times. The grandfather of every adventure motorcycle you see on the road today. The ancestor of every GS ever built. Every Africa Twin. Every R1250. Every big enduro motorcycle. The first seed of all of them. The ancestor of all of them. And right now, this beast is lying in a junkyard. A junkyard no one visits, no one comes to, left to rot, until today.
Almost there.
On the edge of the city, there's an old junkyard, a place no one comes to, no one visits. Broken fences, rusty gates, collapsed shelves, crumbled walls. Machines that have once silently merged with the earth over the years. Each of them had once run on a road. Each of them had once been part of someone's life. Each once had a key. Each once carried someone to work every morning. Each once took someone on journeys. Each once made someone smile just by the sound of its engine. And then, it was abandoned, just like that. Never returning, never looking back, never even thinking of coming back. Those horizontal Boxer cylinders stretched out to either side. BMW's signature carried for decades. That single-sided rear swing arm, a design found on no other motorcycle. That large 21-inch front wheel, that high-mounted exhaust pipe, that raised front fender, that long suspension travel. Rust cannot hide these things. Time cannot erase them. Nothing can hide them. This is the BMW R80GS. We found the owner. A short phone call, a few minutes, a few words, and we had a deal. From that moment on, this motorcycle was ours. Now it had a purpose. Now it had a future. Now it had a story. And that story was not over. It had never been over. We called the tow truck. They came, and the loading began. A careful loading, unhurried, measuring every move, thinking through every step. We lifted the motorcycle from where it lay. It seemed reluctant to leave the ground it had pressed down on for decades. It clung, as if it had taken root there, as if it didn't want to leave, as if the junkyard had become its world. But we worked patiently, slowly pulled it up the ramp, ran the straps through, secured every point, careful not to crush the most fragile parts, because this mattered. This wasn't just cargo. This was history. This was the beginning of a category. This was Laszlo Perez's dream. And finally, it was on the platform, safe, secure, ready. And that morning, while the sun had not yet fully risen, while the rusty gates of that junkyard closed behind us, the 1980 BMW R80GS left behind the place it had been abandoned decades ago, forever. Along the road, I watched in the rearview mirror. It stood there, strapped to the platform, rusty, damaged. It looked tired, but upright, still upright, as if it knew, as if it had always known this moment would come. We were going to a workshop, to hands that understood the value of this machine, to a mind that knew what this machine could become. This was its first journey in a very long time. A small journey, but a very important journey, because the real journey hadn't even begun. When it arrived at the workshop, we saw the true picture. In proper light, without shadow, without the darkness of the junkyard, without anything hiding what time had done. The damage was worse than expected. The tank had completely rusted from the inside. The carburetors had solidified and clogged. The electrical system had nearly completely deteriorated. The cables crumbled like glass between our fingers. The tires crumbled to the touch. The chrome surfaces had almost entirely disappeared. Beyond rust, there wasn't much left. But that wasn't all we saw when we looked. The engine block was intact. The frame was solid. The monolever arm was in place. The crankcase hadn't cracked, and the crankshaft, even if forced, it turned. That was enough. That was everything. Because this machine had been through far harder conditions, and it had never given up. Never. Now, to understand the story, we need to go back a little. The late 1970s. The Japanese dominated the motorcycle market. Honda was putting out faster models. Kawasaki was cheaper. Yamaha was lighter. Suzuki was a competitor in every segment. And BMW was standing still. The same Boxer engines, the same transmissions, the same philosophy. Very little had changed. Sales were falling. The market was shrinking. Question marks over the future were growing. This was no longer a crisis. This was a final warning. The director of BMW Motorrad, Karl-Heinz Gerlinger, gathered his engineers one day. The message was clear. Either find a way out, or we shut this division down. It was a serious message, a real threat. And as that threat echoed through the room, one of the people in that room was thinking something different. Laszlo Keres, a young test engineer, a name no one paid attention to, someone no one had high expectations for. But Laszlo had something on his mind. He'd had it for a long time. He told no one. He asked no one. He started working on his own, in a basement in Munich, with whatever parts he had at hand. No special budget, no official support. He took the frame of the R65, put in the engine of the R80/7, borrowed forks and wheels from different models, raised the exhaust, extended the suspension travel, and designed something no motorcycle had ever seen before. A single-sided rear swing arm, housing the drive shaft inside. Oil-filled, enclosed, light, revolutionary. They called it the monolever, and Laszlo's prototype they called the Red Devil. The executives looked on with skepticism. What is this? Is it an enduro? A touring motorcycle? What is this supposed to do? No one understood. But Laszlo didn't give up. He defended what he believed in, and in the end, he got permission. 3 months of dedicated development time was granted. The rest took 18 months. September 1980, a small city in the south of France, Avignon. Journalists from the world press were invited, and the R80GS was unveiled. The journalists were confused. It seemed like a large, heavy enduro, but it wasn't a touring motorcycle either. No one could figure out what it was. The confusion didn't last long. They rode it, and they understood. It glided on asphalt, it danced on dirt trails, it made you feel safe on both. Gelände, Strasse, off-road, on-road, at the same time, in the same machine. This had never been seen before. This had never been heard of before. At the end of the first year, 6,600 units were sold, exactly double the projected number. BMW had been saved. And in 1981, it entered the Paris-Dakar Rally, the world's toughest motorcycle race. The Sahara Desert, thousands of kilometers of sand, rock, heat, the cold of night, uncertainty. Hubert Ariol rode it, and he finished first. First again in 1983, first again in 1984, first again in 1985. 4 times winning the Paris-Dakar Rally, 4 times first place in the world's toughest race. And with each victory, the world understood a little more. This machine was real. This machine could go anywhere. This machine was the beginning of a new era. Today, adventure motorcycles produced around the world number in millions. Every major brand has a GS model. Every manufacturer has an adventure series. All of them began in a basement in Munich, Laszlo Perez's small workshop. Now, the descendants of that machine run on roads across every continent, in the mountains, in the deserts, in the forests. And now, the original machine itself stood before us, disassembled, laid out on the workbench, every part in the light, every part waiting for us.
The work began. First, the frame went to sandblasting. Years of accumulated rust, old paint, grime, time. All of it stripped away,
She
layer
runs.
by layer. Patient work this. Work with no hurry. Another
Sounds
layer
perfect.
beneath
Well
every
done,
layer.
everyone.
Cleaner metal
Sounds
beneath every layer. And finally, the metal that emerged was pure white,
Absolutely
clean,
spot on.
solid, completely undamaged. The steel Laszlo Paris's team had welded decades later was still holding strong. The engine was disassembled. 797.5 cc's, air-cooled Boxer engine, 2 horizontally opposed cylinders, overhead valves. Every part was taken out individually, examined, cleaned, measured. Not a single part was overlooked. The Nikasil-coated cylinders were checked, every tolerance
stripe,
verified,
perfect
every
alignment.
surface
And the
machined.
engine timing is
New
spot
gaskets,
on.
Yeah.
new
Beautiful work.
piston rings, new valve seals. The crankshaft was remachined. That engine, producing 50 horsepower, was slowly coming back to life. The carburetors were completely rebuilt. Jets cleaned, needles adjusted, floats checked, the fuel system renewed from scratch. The monolever rear system was removed. The driveshaft inside was extracted. Every part inspected, re-lubricated. Laszlo's revolutionary invention, cleaned and renewed, went back into place. The front forks were serviced. They regained their 200 millimeters of travel
runs.
capacity. The brakes were renewed. The front disc checked. The rear drum
Sounds
overhauled.
perfect. Well done,
The
everyone.
wiring harness was pulled from scratch. Every cable, every contact, every fuse, all new,
Absolutely
all
spot on.
clean, no compromise. The electronic ignition system was tested. The 5-speed gearbox was disassembled. Every gear inspected, cleaned, reassembled. The tank was cleaned from the inside, rust removed, protected, the exterior painted. That iconic white and blue color scheme emerged once more. The 21-inch wire-spoke front rim was polished, the rear rim cleaned, new tires fitted, the seat re-upholstered, the exhaust pipes buffed.
Just adjusted
Days
the throttle
passed,
cable,
weeks
smooth as silk
passed.
now.
Every morning when we walked into the workshop, a little more had been completed, a little more had come back to life, a little more had returned.
Ready for the
Piece by piece, bolt by bolt, patiently, quietly, without rushing, careful at every stage, deliberate at every step, because this machine deserved it. This machine deserved the very best of everything. And one morning, the 1980 BMW R80GS stood before us, complete, whole, ready. The moment of truth arrived. We opened the fuel tap, filled the fuel line, ran the final checks, went over every connection one more time, checked every bolt one more time, left nothing to chance. Then we turned the ignition key, hit the starter. Once, silence. Twice, a faint tremor. Something was waking up inside. After decades, something was waking up. Something was returning from a deep sleep. 3 times, the engine fired. That balanced, smooth, unmistakable BMW Boxer sound filled the workshop. 2 cylinders, opposing, perfect balance, no vibration, calm, strong. The engine settled, found its idle, and no one spoke. There was no need to speak. That sound said everything. Then we took it outside, sun shining, engine running. Time for the test ride. First gear, asphalt, straight road. That Boxer engine pushed with power and smoothness. Second, third, fourth, fifth. The drive shaft transferred power without a tremor. No vibration, no irritating noise. Just the engine, just the road, just forward. Then we left the road, turned onto a trail. Rock, dust, inclines, potholes, sharp stones, and the R80G/S didn't hesitate for a second. That big 21-inch front wheel swallowed obstacles whole. The monolever smoothed out every jolt. The drive shaft delivered power in silence. On-road, off-road, both at once. Complete, exactly as it should be. In 1980, this was exactly what Laszlo Paris dreamed of. On asphalt, on dirt trails, in the city, in the desert, the same machine, the same confidence. And today, after decades of silence, that dream was real again. Someone had left this motorcycle in a junkyard, the world's first adventure motorcycle, the world's first GS, as if it were finished, as if it were worthless. But it wasn't finished. It never had been. Because some machines live beyond time. Because some machines, no matter how much destruction they face, never lose the spirit within them. This machine's spirit was there. It was there in the junkyard. It was there in the workshop. And now it was on the road. Just like the people who built it. Just like the people who restored it. 1980 BMW R80GS, from the junkyard to the road, free again.